But in here and here, that's got to change before. Dress reform, Sabbath reform, health reform. God's people are physically sick. They are spiritually sick. We have never had a group of people so sick. Why? Because we have disobeyed the counsels of God. We have done things our own way. What's wrong with us? There is no other group of people that has the potential to be more powerful than any other army on earth like you. You got the sanctuary message. No other people have that. When Ezekiel was about to die, he cried out, and God turned back the sun 15 degrees. And the pagans and Gentiles who observed moons and stars and all those foolishness, they saw it, they said, we don't understand this. They said, you know what, we got to go over Israel. Because this is where the fountain of knowledge is. But what have you done with it? You buried it. So now when people sick, all you can tell them, go take 2 Panadol. That's an embarrassment. We are an embarrassment. And then that same person turns to the rest of the man. He says, here's what you do. You got to take a busy, because within the busy lies this and that. You got to boil it, let it steep for 15 minutes. You're an embarrassment. We are embarrassment. And then, poor young man can't even find a godly woman. What a sad thing. Dressed like anybody else. Surely you look sexy. Yes, sexy on your way to hell. Poor young ladies can't even find a godly man. Because you're in a suit, but you're just a church man. We are an embarrassment. And then that's dress, and then Sabbath reform. That's how we worship. Your worship on earth should reflect your worship in heaven. But how do we sound? Do you sound any different? You're filled with so much program. It's a big day. Today's Youth Day. Big day. Today's Men's Day. Big day. Today's Women's Day. You got to dress in unison. You got to dress in the purple and so forth. Am I bashing these things? Not so much bashing it. But I'm telling you where our focus is. And I'm telling you where our focus should be. We are, you are, and I am an embarrassment to God. But why we do that? Why we play around? Here's what is happening in the world. The country who is called the Lamb like beast in Revelation 13, who has the 2 horns, which was civil freedom and religious freedom, is now merging those 2 things. The country that you thought was the moral police of the world has passed homosexual law. That black president that you all love so much because of his black skin has done worse than many before him. Here's what is happening. The place you once thought was heaven, the great America, has become hell. Here's what is happening. If you think you've seen anything, you've not seen nothing. One more thing is left, and that's the Sunday law. There are twin institutions in Eden. Marriage and Sabbath. Marriage, family life, Sabbath worship. America has destroyed marriage, family life, totally. I've seen something on Facebook. A doctor collects a baby from the womb. The baby is born. The mother says, what is it? The doctor says, we'll have to wait for it to decide. Isn't that a reflection of the time? Because of course what God has made, your sexual genital, doesn't decide what you are, but you decide who you are, and an embarrassment. Can I tell you something about science? You can change down there, change here, but your thing will still be XX. That's a woman. It will still be XY, man. Now we are confused about who uses what bathroom and embarrassment. Now we want to talk about homosexual Adventists. Sick! But what are you doing, Israel? What are you doing? The Assyrian army is at the wall. Let me tell you what you're going to do. Today is just going to be another good day. Some of you are going to say we had a preacher that could have done it a little more decent. Some of you are going to say it was a good message and that's all it was, another message. And some of you are going to say the church was good today and then next week you forgot about today. That's why most of you go make it to hell. Because you don't sit down, you don't focus, you don't listen to the issue, you don't see where we are, you don't take the message at your heart and decide I need to change because I could die tomorrow. What's wrong with you? All I know, I've done my job. All I know, my shoulders is clean. Let me make something clear to you. Every appointment I get is not because a pastor called me. It's because God inspired him to call me. And so I don't worry about where I go and where I go next. I'm just a John. Can you handle that? But this is hope. When people come here, do they really find? Or does hope inspire hopelessness? Who will pray for the remnant? As I close, there was a ruler called Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great ruled the ancient world. One day, a soldier was court-martialed for a number of crimes he had done. And Alexander stood at the judgment bar, and the soldier was court-martialed, and he came right before him. And Alexander said, "Soldier, you have been found guilty for a number of crimes you have done." And Alexander said to the soldier, "Soldier, you will be sentenced to 10 years in prison." As the soldier was turned around and he was being court-martialed to his cell, Alexander the Great said, "Soldier, stop!" Alexander the Great said, "Soldier, tell me, what is your name?" And the soldier said, "Alexander." Alexander said, "Soldier, do not play. I will take your head off. Tell me, what is your name?" And the soldier said, "Sir, my name is Alexander." Alexander the Great said, "I make a decree today. Before you leave my courts, you're going to change your name or change your life. What is my name this morning? I'm Seventh-day Adventist, but I drink coffee. Well, before you leave this court this morning, you're going to change your name or change your life. What's my name? Seventh-day Adventist, Jesus, but I sit at the front because I don't talk to the sister at the back. Well, before you get out of this church, you better change your name or change your life. What's your name? Seventh-day Adventist Christian, Jesus. But you see that preacher up there? Made me very uncomfortable today. I don't like that preacher up there. Well, before you leave this court, you have to change your name or change your life. What's my name? Seventh-day Adventist Christian, Jesus. But I don't too like this dress reform thing. It covers too much of my legs and I gotta show a little, to get a little. Well, change your life or change your name. What's your name? Seventh-day Adventist Christian. But I'm young and hot and I love the word. I know the church says that, but sure. Gotta enjoy myself, a little party, a little club. Well, before you leave this door, take off the name or change your life. What's your name? Seventh-day Adventist Christian. But sometimes my wife gets on my nerve and I give her 2 punch. Well, you have to change your life or change your name. What's your name? Seventh-day Adventist Christian. I'm married to him, but you know, I'm so sly. I cheat on him now and then. He doesn't even know. Change your life. Change your name. What's your name? Seventh-day Adventist. I preach, but I don't live what I preach. Oh, really? When you're going to change your life or change your name? that. Let me tell you why. Because if you keep that name that God gave to his people and live contrary, your judgment's going to be tenfold. You struggle. I struggle. That's not an excuse for sin. Kneel on your knee. Cry out to God, Jacob, and let God change your life. But your life's got to be changed. Change your life or change your name. And you better decide to do that before you step out of my hall. Change your life. Change your name. What's your name? Seventh-day Adventist Christian Jesus. Now here's my call. Here's my call. If you're going to change your name and keep the life, stay in your seat. If you're going to change your name but keep your dirty life, stay in your seat. But if you want to change your life, keep that precious name. This call is for you. Whether you are in the church or you're out the church, today we're going to pray. And now we know what we're praying for. We know what we need to cry out for. Do not waste space up here. Here's the call. If you're going to keep your life and change the name, stay in your seat. And don't get up because people watching you. God don't read your heart. But if you want to change that messed up life and you want to keep that precious name, seventh day, finish Jesus. And as I do this little chorus, if that's you, then you ought to come and stand.